Hello and thanks for joining me. I am Grayson Steele and today we will be playing an Xbox One game called King's Quest Chapter 1 A Night to Remember. Now this is a revamp of an adventure game series created by Roberta Williams in the 1980s. Published under the Old Sierra name, this episodic revival has been undertaken by developer The Odd Gentleman. Now according to The Odd Gentleman's website, they are basically purveyors of fine video gaming based out of Los Angeles, California. We create games that are humorous and charming with fantastical worlds, quirky characters and compelling stories. They highlight creative and innovative gameplay that players of all ages will enjoy. So, let's see what they've got. It's very nice, very cartoony kind of graphics, really nice. Look down the well. Beautifully designed. It looks really nice. Okay. What we've got to do here. Well, that's obviously what you can carry. Okay, let's go back down and have a look. Looks like we're going down the well. Okay.
I had not been back there in years, but it was the last place left to look. Those lost wishes weren't the treasure I was after. Those lost wishes weren't the treasure I was after.
Just got to get through here somehow.
It was not exactly as I remembered it, but it wasn't all that different either. Two odd contraptions guarded the lost treasure. I would have to turn one and see what happened.
Oh, that's going to hurt Dave.
And that's what would have happened if I...
Okay, let's try the other one then. Almost reminds me a bit of Dragon's Lair with the traps. I'm sure that's probably where they got some of their ideas from.
Pockets, barrels, butter churns, and beds were jammed into every nook and cranny of that cave. It all seems so familiar. Even though the bed was very comfortable, this was no time to hide under the covers.
Wait. Hold on, Grandpa. I don't remember this part of the story. Beds hanging from stalactites?
We'll get there, Gwendolyn. Don't worry. No detail in this story will be overlooked. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. As I treaded through the river of rumbling trundles, I feared I knew the source of that deafening wind. nestled beneath a slumbering pile of teeth and claws was...
Fabled mirror.
Oh, so you remember this part of the story.
Well, dragons are my favorite.
You want to tell this part?
Yes. King Edward sent me, the greatest knight in all of Daventry, on a quest to return his stolen mirror. A gigantic, hulking beast of a dragon was the last thing in my way to... My way to add a shinier hat to my collection.
What's this over here? Put it on.
I tried to turn that crazy contraption, but it was missing a handle. Someone tampered with it, creating some silly conundrum. As I was saying, this was no time to take a nap. Volumes of old books with foreboding titles clutter the shelves of that strange bedroom. How to Tame a Dragon, Breaking the Spirit of Hideous Beasts, Amateur Spells to Impress Your Friends with. No books about recovering missing handles, though.
Ring the bell, Dave.
So, the missing handle was booby-trapped? What did you do?
Well, I used my cleverness to outsmart the trap. Then I used my cleverness to hide. Luckily, that half-blinded beast never noticed me in bed.
A dragon's eye must be really hard to pierce with an arrow. At archery lessons, I can barely hit a hay bale.
It is indeed a feat only for skilled archers.
Back to the...
What did you...
The dragon's chains were coiled around a gigantic switch mounted to the cave wall. This cave seemed to be filled with failed adventures.
Okay.
After he briefly basked in the sun, the narcoleptic dragon went back to snoring.
I'd probably sleep all day too, if Amira was my only friend.
Get to that gap. Ducking and weaving. Come on, Dave. That's it. Hitting the bed.
Wait a minute.
Try that again. Can I jump that? Right. That's it. Straight in.
Whoever designed this trap thought they were pretty clever, but I would probably find a way to hit that unreachable switch.
Now, as I'm playing this, you're probably thinking, do you know what? I recognise that voice. Now, they've got some really good voice casting in this game. And if you haven't already guessed, it's actually Christopher Lloyd who plays the main character Graham. And he was Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Okay. Nice job, Dave. Let's go.
The mirror called out to me.
What's this?
A ridiculous feeding contraption was cobbled together to keep the beast and probably its owner alive.
Oh, I see, okay. we turn that. Oh, just missed it. Come on, come on. All that effort for a mirror. With a crown. So don't work well without inverted controls. Never mind, let's try. Dave, we can do it. Oh crap.
I guess you could say
Shot. The run. What the hell am I?
Let me guess.
with the magic mirror safely in my possession, I dreamt of the Daventry I would be rewarded with, and the kingdom it could become.
Because there's such decent talent in this game, it certainly does a good job of being able to draw you in as you play this. And I like that. I mean, there's very few games that actually make me feel like I want to continue, but this game pulls me in, and it's good. I like that.
In that split second, I had 3 choices in front of me. Any would clear my path to safety, and all would have rippling consequences.
Decided to save the dragon. Okay, I like the fact that it's giving you 3 options. Obviously I saved the dragon, but the fact that you've got those options gives you some replay value to the actual game, so that's very good. I like that.
My hands were shaking and my arms could barely grip the rope, but with the last of my strength, I climbed out of the well and headed back to the castle. Ever since the magic mirror returned, its reflections have warned the kingdom of danger, kept our family safe, and it has exposed many troublesome crumbs tangled in my beard.
Yeah. King Edward was so proud that you returned his lost treasure that he made you king. Everyone knows that part. Now, can we get back to that dragon?
Gwendolyn, there is so much more to my stories than dragons. I hope this old cap will be remembered for far more than the action tattered across its brim, sewn into the seams of many hidden adventures. All right, let's get back to the dragon.
Tell me everything. Like, why did you set the dragon free even though he was trying to eat you?
I set him free because, well, over the years I realized that the dragon was not the despicable, hideous beast Daventry had made him out to be. He was just a caged animal that was never shown any kindness. On that day, I forgave the dragon for his atrocious past.
You have such a bizarre way of making friends, Grandpa. I guess I do too. I'm known as Gwendolyn the Popular back home, but only to my stuffed bunnies.
I've always found it best to pursue friends where I can, though they don't always feel the same about me.
All right, you two. Grandpa needs to rest. Gwendolyn, it's way past your bedtime.
Sleep well, Grandpa. I'll be back first thing in the morning.
I don't need rest. I'm as spry as I've ever been, though I wouldn't mind a slice of magic fruit.
Well, hello, cousin.
Guard!
I'm glad you're finally here. He's been asking about you for days. I had to sit through the same story 5 times.
Got here as fast as we could, and I like Grandpa's stories, especially the ones with dragons.
Ah, yes, the legendary beast that he set free. I don't know if he forgets I've heard that story before or he doesn't care, but he loves telling it to anyone that will listen. I'm pretty sure I heard the nursemaids telling his same jokes in the hall.
Have you heard anything the doctors are saying?
Yes, doctors, wizards, magic elves. Grandfather is fine, Gwendolyn. They all say the same thing. He's just old. He still has a few good years left. Look, we're all excited that your family made the trip, but there's no need to worry. You should get some rest. I'm sure you're scheduled for a full morning of Grandfather's hilarious ramblings.
Oh, I'm also scheduled for the tournament tomorrow.
Ah, yes, the fencing tournament. You'll love it. I'm, of course, favored to win and will make sure you have the very best seat to view my victory. The courtyard will be filled with important people and delicious hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, I'm actually competing in the tournament.
I had no idea we were hosting a junior tournament. That's incredible. In that case, I will gladly be there to cheer you on and eat delectable appetizers.
Nope, no junior tournament. I'll be squaring off against you.
I see. Well, perhaps this is the time to stop listening to stories and finally make some of your own. Good night, Gwendolyn. Sleep well.
Come in, Gwendolyn. You can set those on the nightstand.
Grandma said to take 3 spoonfuls of each.
I'll get to those. No need to fuss over me. Now, let's talk about far more important issues, like that fencing tournament. I hear you're competing.
Well, I signed up, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Nonsense. If it's Scott you're worried about, he's no bother. After all, I only learned that you entered after he complained about it all morning. Threatened, I'm guessing. There are many ways to win a duel. I, for one, have always been fond of... treating my opponents with respect. You'll be surprised what opens up to you. A lovely fellow once told me the fastest way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. Speaking of, that reminds me of a story, one I know you haven't heard before. When I was a much younger lad, before I was a knight, before I'd been to Daventry, and even before I had seen a dragon. It's a tale about a tournament that changed my life. It is a long story, but I shall tell it briefly.